Hi, you must be familiar with factorization of the trinomial by splitting the middle term. Now, for example, factorize x squared minus 5x plus 6. These type of questions, right? So here, you know that we find the product first. The product is here 6 and the sum is the middle term coefficient, that is minus 5, correct? So you're familiar with this type of question. Now you have to find two numbers whose product is 6 and sum is minus 5. All of you know that the numbers will be minus 3 and minus 2. The product is 6 and the sum is minus 5. Now, what makes this type of question little difficult or different is you have to think, you have to use your thought process to identify the numbers, either through guesswork or through factorization, correct? So there is no fixed standard method to find out these numbers. The problem with that is sometimes you're under pressure, your brain doesn't work well, so that you're not able to think and find out the numbers. Especially if you're dealing with bigger numbers like 15x squared minus this one 56x plus 48. No? For such big numbers, it's not easy to find the product and the sum and then from that find the numbers. I'm not saying it's impossible or maybe even it's not difficult, but it's time consuming and you'll have to think it out. So we should think of an alternate method here where it's standard, it's definite. You don't have to think too much. You just follow the process and you get the numbers. So today here we will see an alternate approach to find the numbers from the product and sum, which can be used to split the middle term. Here, by the way, the factorization is x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6, which we then continue. So this is how we factorize it. The factorized form will be x minus 3 into x. Now let's use this new approach with an example. Three x squared minus 8x minus 3. Here, the product will be 3 into minus 3, correct? That is minus 9. And the sum will be minus 8. So, product is minus 9 and sum is minus 8. So, we have to find two numbers here whose product is minus 9 and sum is minus 8. So, which are those two numbers? That is the question. So what is the approach we follow here? Want you to listen carefully. First, we'll find, we got the product and we got the sum. So first we'll find the sum upon 2, that is half of the sum. S upon 2. S is minus 8, the sum. S upon 2 is minus 8 upon 2, that is minus 4. Okay. Now we take something called alpha. And what is alpha? Alpha is root of sum upon 2, the whole square minus the product. This is the formula you have to remember. Alpha is equal to root of s upon 2 the whole square minus p. Let's substitute the values. S upon 2 is minus 4, correct? S upon 2 is minus 4. So, minus 4 the whole square minus, the product is minus 9. Product is minus 9. So, minus, P means minus 9. All right. This will be root of 16 plus 9, negative times negative is positive. So 16 plus 9, which is square root of 25, and that is 5. So alpha is equal to 5. Now, what is the significance of alpha? We will find two things now here. S upon 2 plus alpha and S upon 2 minus alpha. What is S upon 2? It is minus 4. So S upon 2 is minus 4 plus alpha is 5. So minus 4 plus 5 and S upon 2 again minus 4 minus alpha is minus 4 minus. That is 1 and minus 9. Got it? So the two numbers we got are 1 and minus 9. No requirement here to guess the numbers or factorize. To be avoid all that by directly using this formula. So now we can factorize this thing by taking by splitting the middle term. 3x squared minus 8x minus 3 can be written as 3x squared. Yes, splitting the middle term in terms of 1 and minus 9. So it will be minus 9x plus 1x minus 3. Well, you know the procedure after that. We'll just quickly go through it. 3x into x minus 3, taking 3x common, plus taking one common factor, 1 into x minus 3. That is x minus 3 into 3x plus 1 is the factor. So you can see how quickly we could get it. In this case, maybe by you could have easily guessed it and you would have got it earlier. But this method is safe and it does not depend on your mindset at that time. It does not depend on your thinking ability at that time. And it's more useful when we use more difficult sums, that is bigger numbers. So we'll see the same thing with a few bigger numbers. Okay. In this question here, 15x squared minus 56x plus 48, the product will be 15 multiplied by 48, which is 720. The product is 720 and the sum is the coefficient of the middle term, that is minus 56. So the sum is minus 56. So it will be a little difficult here to factorize 72 and find the numbers whose sum is minus 56. So what we do is use a method here by first finding the half of the sum. S upon 2 is minus 56 upon 2, that is minus 20. Now use the formula. Alpha is equal to root of S upon 2 the whole square minus P. So you have to memorize this formula. That is root of the S upon 2 is minus 28, right? S upon 2 is minus 28. So it will be minus 28 the whole square minus P. P is the product and the product is 720. Okay. 720. This is root of, now the square of minus 28 is positive 784 minus 720, which is square root of 64, that is 8. Okay, so the value of alpha is 8. Now next, let's find S upon 2 plus alpha and S upon 2 minus alpha. Sum upon 2 is minus 28. So minus 28 plus alpha is 8. So minus 28 plus 8 and minus 28 minus, which is minus 20 and minus 36. Okay, so now we are ready for the factorization. Once we got these numbers, we do the factorization, which is known to you. So I'll again go through that quickly. 15x squared minus 56x plus 48 is equal to 15x squared minus, now taking the two numbers here, minus 20x minus 36x plus 48. Common factor here 5x and 3x minus 4. I assume that you know this factorization because in this video we are only dealing with the method, the shortcut method or the safe method to find these numbers. So what happens after that? I assume that you know it. Minus 12 into 3x minus 4. Okay. Now that will be 3x minus 4 into 5x minus 12. So this is the factorized form. Okay. Try the next one. 30x squared plus 119x plus 98. The product is 30 multiplied by 98, correct? Product is 30 multiplied by 98. How much is that? It is 2940. 2940. And the sum is the middle term coefficient, which is 190. All right. So first, we take the s upon 2. Sum upon 2 is 119 upon 2. We'll keep it as a fraction. Next, use the formula alpha is equal to root of s upon 2 the whole square minus p. That is root of s upon 2 is 119, correct? So 119 square upon 2 whole square minus 2940, which is the product, right? This will be, if you take the square, you get 14161 upon denominator 4 minus 2940. Now this will be square root of, make it a single fraction, 14161 minus 2940 multiplied by 4 is 11760. 11760 upon 4. That is square root of 2401 upon 4. Now the square root of 2401 is 49 and square root of 4 is 2. So you get the value of alpha as 49 upon 2. Now find sum upon 2 plus alpha and sum upon 2 minus alpha. That is 49 upon 2. I'm sorry. Sum upon 2 is 119 upon 2. 119 upon 2 plus 49 upon 2 and 119 upon 2 minus 49 upon 2. This will be 168 upon 2 and this will be 70 upon 2. Therefore, the numbers are 84 and 35. 84 and 35. You might argue that, okay, this takes some time because you have to find the squares, correct? you have to multiply, and you have to find the square root. Agreed, it might take a little time, but it's better than sitting and thinking about the numbers. Just imagine the amount of time required to think and guess or factorize and get this. So we are saving a lot of time then. Now, the easy part, which is the factorization. 30x squared plus 119x plus 98 is 30x squared plus, yes, this can be written as 84x plus 35x plus 98. That is, here common factor is 6x, 6x into 5x plus 14 plus 7 into 5x plus 40. That is 5x plus 14 into 6x plus 7. We'll end with this one last example so that it becomes completely clear to you. 16x squared plus 28x minus 60. The product here is 16 multiplied by 60. That is 900 and minus 960. 16 multiplied by minus 60 is minus 960. And the sum is 28. The sum is 28. First find sum upon 2. That is 28 upon 2, which is 40. Now find alpha. Alpha is root of sum upon 2, the whole square, minus product. That is root of sum upon 2 is 14. 14 square minus product is minus 960. So minus, P means minus, minus 960. Minus 960. This is square root of 196 plus 960, right? Which is square root of 1156, which is 34. Okay, so alpha is 34. Now let's find s upon 2 plus alpha and s upon 2 minus alpha. S upon 2 is 14 and alpha is 34. So it will be 14 plus 34 and 14 minus 34. That will be 48, and 14 minus 34 is minus 20. So these are the two numbers, 48 and minus 20. Now let's do the factorization. 16x squared plus 28x minus 60 is equal to 16x squared plus 48x minus 20x minus 60. We can take here 16x as common factor, 16x into x plus 3, and here minus 20x plus 3. So x plus 3 into 16x minus 20 is the factorization of this. So I hope this method is clear to you. Try it. You can try it out a few times and see that as you practice more, it gets fluent. So to recap, what is the method here? First, write the product, the sum, and sum upon 2, s upon 2. Remember this formula, alpha is equal to root of s upon to the whole square minus p, which you use to find alpha. After finding alpha, find s upon 2 plus alpha and s upon 2 minus alpha. That will give you the two numbers. So I hope this video was helpful to you.